Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we humbly beseech Thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in Thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and that good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to a deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, we don't have a message from His Excellency the President, and I don't have any message myself or formal communication. And so we move to item 5 on the order paper, which is correction of votes and proceedings and official report. We start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 12 June 2024, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, yes, Honorable Bodo.
The phone is not working. Right, Honorable Speaker, I was recorded as absent without permission, but yesterday I was here throughout, up until adjournment. So if the table office can take note and do the correction.
Yes, table office, kindly take note of that. His number is 65 at page 8, and he was present, not absent. Page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18, page 19, page 20, page 21, page 22, page 23, page 24. Honorable members, in the absence of any offense, the votes and proceedings of the second sitting, dated Wednesday, 12 June 2024, are adopted as a true record of proceedings. I have 3 copies of the official reports dated 23rd February 2024, 27th February 2024, and 28th February 2024. Honorable members, any corrections? In the absence of any corrections, the official reports of Friday, 23rd February 2024, Tuesday, 27th February 2024, and Wednesday, 28th February 2024, are adopted as the true record for proceedings for those 3 days. May we now move on to, is there any statements? Item 6, yes.
Mr. Speaker, by the indulgence of this House and with your leave, I may want to make a statement on a matter which has come up in the media, is of public importance. And this matter was raised by our respected colleague, Honorable Member for Akachi North. Mr. Speaker, the matter he raised, which matter I would like to take up on this floor for possible clarification, has to do with Article 25 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, government has indicated its intention to introduce the Free SHS Bill to bring a law that will regulate the implementation of Free SHS. Mr. Speaker, as you may be well aware, the provisions of Article 25 are aspirational, and I submit that these may by themselves not be justiciable, and that through an enactment, the power to make them justiciable would have been triggered. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the media reports that the Honourable Member for Akachi North, and I'm saying so rather carefully, says that he is kicking against the bill being introduced. I just felt that he is here himself. I just felt that this is a house of debate, and this is the only forum where we can have an opportunity for him to put his case across, so that we properly appreciate the views he expressed. Because sometimes the media can misquote and misrepresent. It happens all the time. So, Mr. Speaker, I would want my respected colleague to have the opportunity to address this important matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, the people of Ghana deserve to have this free SHS to remain in force. And the only way to do it is to enact a law to regulate it, so that we take it away from the angle of mere policy. So, Mr. Speaker, having made that point, I shall rest my case. I thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, the respected majority leader, is completely out of order. He cited his comment on a media report, which is first of all not before this House, and secondly, our standing orders allow us to ask questions directed at colleagues. So if you really want to know what he thinks about free SHS, file a question and you answer the question that you.
Right, Honorable Speaker. There is wisdom in the saying that substance takes precedence. Mr. Speaker, I agree that procedure is to guide us, but substance would always have its way. It would be prudent for us to discuss the matter. And I said, when I was laying the foundation, I did indicate that this is a matter of national importance, especially when the issues that he raised are matters of constitutional value. Why are you preventing the honorable member who can speak as of right from defending himself? I want him to bring clarity. I'm not asking him a question. Mr. Speaker, I started by saying that with the indulgence of the House and the leave of Mr. Speaker, and I'm fortified, I'm not making a lame statement. You have already. Mr. Speaker, I am fortified by the rules of this House and not the 93-1. And Mr. Speaker has so granted me leave. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a matter of national importance. A member has raised, and the media is saying that he is saying he's kicking against the free SHS law. And it has been reported. But I know the media can sometimes misquote him. They can misquote his noble intentions. So he is right here. Mr. Speaker, he is right here. And he even said he is speaking from the minority. He said, we the minority. But I suspect that the media might have misquoted him. So he's here. If he is against the free SHS law, which will guarantee the right of Ghanaians to have secondary education, it should be so. If it is not, let's put this matter to rest. Because the media has carried this thing. And it's a matter of national importance. Ghanaians who heard this are concerned. We used to have 800 people in school. Now we have 1.4 million because of the implementation of free SHS. We want to be sure and certain that indeed you didn't say so. Mr. Speaker, the reason I have brought this matter to the fore, I'm doing so in good faith. I thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, there is no bill before this House about free SHS. They've run free SHS without any proper bill so far. If a bill comes to the House, you will know what the minority thinks about that. By the way, the same media you talked about, the leader of our side yesterday said categorically, nobody on our side is against free SHS. So that settles it. So once our leader has spoken, that ends it. And Mr. Speaker, he is the leader of the House. I encourage him to use the procedures well. You cannot read newspapers outside and come and introduce it into the House as if it's a business of the House. So you have an opportunity to ask a colleague a question. And Speaker, we thank you. That is why when you upgraded the standing orders today, colleagues can ask each other questions. You can go to the dispatch box and ask questions. So the opportunity is there. I just encourage you to do the right thing. Free SHS is not before the House currently. So whatever, I've also heard you say many things in public. There's no need for me to bring it here. Otherwise, the House will be based on hearsays. This side is saying, when free SHS bill comes to the House, you will get to know what we think about it. As of now, the most important things that we are discussing here is some of the things that we had at court today. Some of the things that we had at court today, some of the things that are happening in our markets, where prices of goods, tomatoes, kenke, everything is going up of the roof. Mr. Speaker, I have situations where people in my village are questioning why they have to pay so much money to travel from Adapuwaya to Ho. All these things are very serious things that are concerning people. People are stuck in traffic between Accra and Winneba because of the traffic. These are serious things. And these are not anything that you are concerned about. Mr. Speaker, I want you to get involved in the things like that. We are not interested in any discussion about free SHS bill. Because as far as we are concerned, there's no free SHS bill before the House at the moment. Thank you.
I thought we agreed that in view of the time, we will not spend more than a certain period. You want to use all that on this matter? You want to use all that time on this matter? Very important issue. Oh, okay, then I'll give the Majority Chief Whip. After him, I'll come back to you.
Speaker, let me thank you for recognizing me, and we'll pray that the Speaker should live long. And as the leader was leading his argument, you could see the Speaker was listening with rapt attention. And the Speaker is one person who will not entertain frivolous arguments. And especially when you are on the frolic of your own, the Speaker will not entertain you. And the Speaker listens to the leader, meaning there is some wisdom, good wisdom, in the argument advanced by the leader of the House. Suffice it to say that the leader of the House understands the jurisprudence of our rules. And in fact, Speaker, I must confess, when I heard the statement and read it on social media, I got alarmed. I know I know how passionate the respected ranking member for education is. In fact, he's one of the ranking members I respect so much, and is a very distinguished member of this House. Now, the statement that is being attributed to him is of serious consequence. One, to us as a nation, and also the consequence of this very important and overarching policy of the free SHS. It is just fair. And he is a person who can speak for himself. I don't know why Honorable Governors will jump to his defense. Why don't you want the Honorable Ranking Member to speak? For heaven's sake, in fact, we know you are for the free SHS now. Now you are for it. Now we know you are for it. Now we know you are for it. If it is the case, let the man speak for himself. In fact, the man is eager to speak. I can see him putting his nose together. Speaker, I will plead with you, for heaven's sake, this house cannot guard people from speaking. Let's hear the honorable and the respected ranking member for once on this free SHS. But I must commend you. I must commend the minority though, that now you are for the free SHS. Against all the adverts you ran against, now you are for it. Welcome home. Welcome home. I pray that when the law is finally brought to this house, we'll get this support, we'll get a good support from the minority. And I can see my good friend, Honorable Governors, is very excited. And now he has been baptized to join the crusade for the free SHS. So without adding more, I will pray that you encourage our colleague to speak for once. And don't let anybody on your side gag you. Let them know that you know your rights.
Well, I think Mutala has been on his feet for some time. Please, Honorable Mutala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, myself and the Majority Chief Whip were all student leaders in this country. And I remember at that time, our argument was consistent, that education is progressively free, as stated in Article 25 of the 1992 Constitution. So it is absolutely misleading for the majority leader to say that free education can only be guaranteed with free SHS. He is on record to have said at a function just last week that the NDC is stating that, inshallah, when we come to power after December elections, that we're going to scrap the free SHS. Our presidential candidate has been consistent. The NDC as a political party has been consistent in the matter of the free SHS. What we have said, which you refuse to listen, is that the policy is a very good policy, but it was recklessly and haphazardly implemented. And if you had listened, the challenges confronting us today wouldn't have happened. You are on record to have said that, and I can quote what you specifically said on the matter of the NDC intention to scrap free SHS. But Honorable Speaker, my point has to do with the unseriousness on the team he leads. There are only 7. Yesterday, there were just 5. Now, you think that it is important, Honorable Speaker, for us to discuss this matter. You are the leader of government business. What should be of concern to you is to ensure that your members are in the house. I came here by 8 o'clock. I was in this parliament. I came and registered. Your members are still not here. They are following your presidential candidate dancing a zonto and saying, "Give me the steer." If you want us to take you serious, then have control of the people you lead. It is very clear. It is very clear that the media have discussed several issues, including the fact that you staged a coup to remove the majority leader. Did you raise the issue in this house? Did we raise the issue of the fact that you led a team, including the majority chief whip, to overthrow the leadership of your side? Did we raise it here? So must we subject discussions in this house on any matter that is discussed in the media? Maybe perhaps we need to discuss what happened in court today. Where the Minister for Justice and Attorney General is accused to have said that the fancies are thieves in court, in open court. And then you just need to give them some money, they will vote based on what you want. That is a serious matter. If you want us to attach importance to issues, this one is not only dangerous, it's divisive as a state. And I think that as a leader of the majority, that should be of concern. But I'll conclude, right, Honorable Speaker. Part of consensus building is not to stand on the floor to accuse people and to demand response from people. That makes you a good leader. You could easily have called him, "This is what I heard. What is your response to it?" And I guess he would have told you responsibly, "I never said it," or "This was what I meant." What you have done is demonstrating to the foot soldiers of your party that yes, after all, we want to bring back the issue of free education into a banner. When the NDC repeatedly stated our position very clear, when we piloted free education, and you know for a fact that we did, you are not interested in that. You are only interested in pleasing the ears of your people who know that your government has completely and disastrously failed and is just waiting for 7th December to happen. So get your people to come to this house. If not, I would have raised the issue of quorum, governed by Order 64 of the standing orders. I didn't do that because I know Mr. Speaker is in a very good mood, and I didn't want to frustrate that mood. Other than that, I would have raised the issue of quorum so that anytime you don't have the numbers, we will not have any business of government transacting here. Your government is not serious. Sadly, this majority caucus themselves are not serious in ensuring that the business of government takes place in this house. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Bejra.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 64.3. A member may draw the attention of the person presiding at any time during the sitting that members present in the House constitute less than 1/3 of the number of all members of Parliament, which will be our 92 members. Mr. Speaker, as you can see now, we have 10 members here, 30 members here, making only 40. And so I am drawing your attention that the majority leadership does not have any business for us. Therefore, adjourn the House to tomorrow. So I'm calling for a quorum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
My attention is being drawn to the absence of quorum. What is the number in the House? I didn't hear you tell me the number in the House. I heard you talk about the number that could form a quorum. You is 92, but you didn't tell me what is the number in the House so that I could determine.
They are 11, we are 30, making 41, less than 92 that is required to do business in this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk at table, can you confirm the number for me? Yes, what is the number? Just a minute, I'll listen to you. I just want to check on this. Yes, please.
No, I'm not. But we are supposed to assist Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the member said he came under Order 64. So the procedure, 64.3. So the procedure is that, Mr. Speaker, the person presiding shall. There's a procedure there. It is not for him to do counting. He said he has counted. No, Mr. Speaker, he is raising the issue of procedure. Then if you want to raise the issue of procedure, then you should raise it well. So, Mr. Speaker, it's not for him to count. The mandate is for Mr. Speaker to give certain directions. So I just want to put that across.
Yes, Honorable Dominic Ayine.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the learned leader of the majority said the Honourable Bejra, who raised the issue of quorum, is not entitled to count. But what the Honourable member did was to comply with the letter in spirit of Order 64, Rule 3, because it says that he must draw the attention of the person presiding that the number in the chamber is less than 1/3. Now, if that is the case, how can you determine that the numbers in the chamber are less than 1/3 without counting? You have to make that determination first before you draw Mr. Speaker's attention to the fact that we do not have a quorum in the chamber. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not correct that he has no right to state that number. The rules explicitly provide for that as a basis. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
What I simply did was to draw his attention to the fact that the application was incomplete, because he should have stated the number to show that it was less than the quorum. Based on that, then I could proceed to apply the other rules that he was drawing my attention to. I brought in the clerks to make sure that what is being said is the right thing. Then we can go to the other leg of Order 64. So that definitely shows that the majority leader got it wrong. We have truly a number of 47. 12, one person has entered, and then 35. Majority 12, minority 35. Total 47. So I will proceed to the clerk at table to cause the bell to be rung. Then we can continue with what we're doing. This will take 10 minutes. Then we come back to see the number and then decide what to do. If we have to count heads, we'll count the heads. If there's no quorum, then we do what you have agreed upon, suspend the sitting of the House for no more than 1 hour. If on resumption of the sitting there is no quorum upon the conduct of a head count, then the House shall stand adjourned. It's not the Speaker to adjourn it, but the House will stand adjourned. So let's continue what we're doing. The bell will be rung. Yes. Majority Chief Whip, please let the bell be rung.
Speaker, may we move on to other people addendum? Other people, while we are waiting for the...
We haven't concluded what we were doing. Yes, let's finish that, then we can now proceed to another item. But the majority leader made a statement, and that was what was on the floor and being discussed before the issue of quorum was raised. So let's conclude that, and then we can move on. Yes. Yes, Honorable Kodo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I don't know from which medium the majority leader heard Honorable Notu say that he was going to oppose, or the minority side was going to oppose a free SHS bill. Because I also listened to him, and he said into my ears that he did not know what was the content of the bill that was supposed to be brought to the House. And so he could not comment on opposing it or not opposing it. I think I heard him very, very well. Mr. Speaker, what is rather trending is that inflation has dropped to 23%. And people are criticizing why prices are still going up when inflation has dropped from 25 to 23. That is what was running around this morning. And I also heard people quoting prices of tomatoes, even medicine, paracetamol. They were quoting the prices in 2016 and comparing these prices with what they are today. That That's what I was following on social media today. Throughout, there was a very long list comparing what things were in 2016 to what they are today. So to say that Honorable Peter said he was going to oppose a free senior high school, I think it is rather the majority side which is fear-mongering all across the country, that when NDC comes to power, they are going to abolish the free senior high school program. They are rather saying that fear-mongering. Oh, you have said it. You have said it that when Muhammad comes to power, he will abolish free senior high school. Is that not what you said? That is rather what is trending, and not that they oppose any bill. Me? I'm speaking to the speaker. Do you want me to answer you? He has spoken a lot about free senior high school. He has spoken a lot. Please, right honorable speaker, the majority leader is misleading this house. It's trying to create acrimony for the minority side, which is untrue, completely untrue. He should desist from that. He should desist from that and stop creating fear-mongering among the citizenry of Ghana. I heard Honorable Notu very succinctly. He never said that he was going to oppose any bill. When you have not introduced a bill, how will it be opposed? You have rather clandestinely opposed the LGBTQ plus bill. You have done that. Yes. And until now, you have made it impossible for the president to sign. Yes. So talk of that. That is also trending. And you are bringing something which is completely irrelevant to the floor here. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Honourable members, you want us to continue on this subject matter? Well, your leader says I should give you the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Leader, for your leader. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming in here as Select Committee Member of Education. Mr. Speaker, just last Sunday, we hosted the Minister of Education at your committee meeting in Koforidua. And the issue we even discussed was about National Service Bill, that the committee should prepare to look at it for them under whatever nature and form that will be brought to Parliament. As a Select Committee of Education, not even anything about free senior high bill was hinted or discussed at the committee just Sunday that passed. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, constitutionally, Article 25 1B is clear about free, progressively free secondary education, technical and vocational. Progressively. If I may ask, under what law are we having free senior high? If I'm being told today, what policy brought about free senior high? Under what policy and what law did we use to implement free senior high, if not our constitution? Are we chasing away the constitution today? Are we nullifying our constitution? Is that what my leader is telling me today? I'm sure my leader should come again, Mr. Speaker. And by this, I plead that we end this whole thing here. And our leader needs to withdraw what he's bringing and worry my ranking, my able ranking. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, minority. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, let me start by saying that the respected leader of the House
must really show the way. I mean, when we speak outside the house every time and we bring it to the floor, the speaker, we can't even function. Yesterday, I think on Tuesday, the majority leader has stated something that, quite frankly, was not correct. That President Akufo-Addo is the first president to have reduced tariffs. I mean, it was so wrong, I saw it. But Mr. Speaker, that is not true. President Mills reduced tariffs, President Mahama reduced tariffs. So it was not true. But I wouldn't bring it on the floor. You know, because it will be so distracting. Anytime every 275 members of parliament make comments on radio, we come and make a statement on it. Mr. Speaker, the reason this is important is that if the attempt is to try and basically make free senior high school your baby, you will not succeed. Free senior high school was started by Kwame Nkrumah. The first president. And it was free. And you have to understand what you've done. You don't even know. Free senior high school has always been with us. It was started by Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The NDC backed the 1992 Constitution, and Article 25 is clear. We are constitutionally obligated to make sure there's progressively free secondary technical education. And that is why in 2015, the NDC government started that program and launched it with 3,000 free-day students. And we have laid out a plan to add additional 120,000 in 2017. Unfortunately, it came to power. And all you have done is to add free feeding, corrupted free feeding. That's what it is. Mr. Speaker, let me just conclude by saying that the reason why this is important is that we are constitutionally mandated to support it. And for the record, everybody in Ghana knows that the free senior high school, as it's currently being implemented, has challenges. And that is why the NDC, I'm putting it on record, the NDC will support any legislation of our effort aimed at making free senior high school better and sustainable. Any effort, this is what I have said, and every time he has said that, you have misquoted him. We will make the free senior high school better and sustainable. If that's what you want to do, bring it and we'll support it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, I was trying to resist the temptation of rising up. The deputy leader, for one, should check his facts when he wants to come on his feet. You said free SHS was started by Kwame Nkrumah. Do you know the details of that? Kwame Nkrumah limited it to the northern region, portions of the northern region. That's why I started. And you sit here and say that, look, please, all he is doing is to wash away the gains. All you are doing, frivolously, you are doing to wash away the gains of the free SHS. But that will not wash. When you had the opportunity to rule, when you were Minister for Energy, did you guys support any? When you were even in power, look, when you were even in power, and the then candidate Akufo-Addo was talking about free SHS, the NDC supported multiple adverts against the free SHS. I expect you to admit this. Look, we haven't said that we have arrived. Of course, we consider there are challenges, but this is far better than what we were. So, Deputy Leader, please check your facts. Check your facts. You cannot take the credit for free SHS. You can't. You can't take that credit. And I see you struggling together with the chief with your leadership, struggling to take credit for free SHS. We know you want to abolish it. We know you want to abolish the free SHS. But the Ghanaian people will not give you the opportunity. Ghanaians will not give you the opportunity.
Yes. Honorable ABA Hussein.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to correct my honorable colleague. I know that he's overly exercised. Mr. Speaker, the Dogombas have a proverb that when somebody passes bad air on you and you are overzealous to retaliate, you bring out the real thing. My colleague has just done such a thing. Mr. Speaker, when Ghana attained independence in 1957, in fact, we do not have any geographical area called Northern Region. In fact, as at that time you were talking about that scholarship, we had what we call Northern Territories. And it is upon that we had that one monolithic territories encompassing the three northern regions. Later, after which the came today. So if the sense of history, Mr. Speaker, is not correct. And for him to also say that it was not even limited to only people in that district. In the southern part of the country, people were underprivileged and disadvantaged. Got government bursaries and others to go to school free. So the import of it was also that they went to school free, like he was trying to say for those in the northern territories at that time. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that my colleague, there is no dispute about the fact that the most progressive policy on education at that time was initiated and crafted and implemented by Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the undisputed founder of this nation, to give vent to free education across the length and breadth of the country. So you should get his record straight. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
I would have left this to pass, but because my colleague, my very good friend, said categorically that what we meant by review of free SHS is to abolish it. Let me stand before him once again and assure him that in our definition, review means to look at something and to make it better, if possible. And by the way, the issue about education or free education in Ghana is captured in our constitution. And the founder of the Fourth Republic is our president, former president, President J.J. Rawlings, who upholded this constitution. A constitution you actually boycotted. A constitution you actually boycotted. So you actually should be burying your face. You should bury your face in your hand when you are trying to implement part of the constitution which you boycotted. But Mr. Speaker, like I said, Mr. Speaker, if we were all supposed to be scanning social media and to bring it to the floor, the most serious thing for me today and my constituents is the potential of an attorney general who goes soliciting illegality to incriminate innocent people. That should occupy your mind. Yes, because it's a fact. He said he read it on social media. Of course, it was said in an open court that the sitting attorney general actually told an accused person to go and falsify his health record to say that he's sick and go to do that at the court. Today, Mr. Speaker, if it turns out that that person is lying, that's different. But today, since he said that he read it on social media, the biggest threat to our democracy, including this chamber, is the possibility of an attorney general soliciting illegality to incriminate innocent people. That should be the crux of what we are talking about. As for free SHS, it is here. It is here, and I said all the time. As of the time we were going for election in Adaklu, there were a number of students going to school who were not paying. Not everybody. Oh, not everybody. I've said not everybody. This idea that free SHS is such the best, Mr. Speaker, today. You will need to use more money to buy the items you take to school than the actual money that is paid for you at school. It costs more to prepare to go to school. How fair is this? So, Mr. Speaker, let us be guided. This idea, Mr. Speaker, maybe you need to rule on it. If we get into the channel of actually hearing things outside and bringing it here, it will be an endless journey. Some people are not comfortable. I repeat, if my attorney general is going around soliciting, incriminating information about accused people to incriminate, to jail innocent people. That is a criminal act. If it's true, that is a criminal act. And I don't even think that Attorney General should even be allowed to operate in his office today. That is if it's true. That is a serious matter.
Honourable members, the Speaker is disabled from intervening in the deliberations because there's only one mic which works at a time. And so when you are on your feet, I can't stop you, but my mic will not come on. And that's why I'm usually compelled to sit and listen until you finish and put off your mic before I can intervene. Yes, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have grown old enough not to be interested in what I call the political play of the activists in the House. But I'm observing a trend which I must put on record that is inappropriate. It's inappropriate. The Chief Whip of the minority, my friend, my nephew, Honorable Kwame Agbaja, about a year ago, I had the occasion to bring the immediate past Chief Justice onto the floor, say things which were unjustifiable and legally untenable. I was on my feet to show that it is unfair to make those judgments. Mr. Speaker, you joined in and drew his attention to how you can evaluate a member of the bench's work, not part of the general conclusions as we draw. Today is here, taking on the Attorney General in a matter and allegations that are happening in the courtroom. Allegations that are happening in the courtroom. I have whatever it is in the social media is purporting to be a report from the courtroom. If you're going to attack the integrity of a judicial officer, if you're going to attack the integrity of a judicial officer in the conduct of his case in the court, you must have evidence that indeed that thing you're alleging is done or not done. I'm very careful when I'm talking about members of the judiciary and members of the judicial office. We here have the protections of the law. If you talk about me here, the rules permit me to speak, respond to you. But we are speaking about the conduct of members who are not here. We are restricted from commenting on the conduct of certain class of people. Are we not? By our own standing orders? Are we not? What we do outside here, on the media, on the social media, they should remain there. But when we bring it here, we must be guided by our rules. Mr. Speaker, I think it is proper that members' attention are drawn to the fact that the conduct of the Chief Justice, members of the judiciary and legal officers cannot be discussed in the chamber as if we are doing. I'm suggesting that it is inappropriate, and particularly coming from a leader of the House. Yes. Can I be heard, please? Can I be heard? It's difficult to deal with, I understand, unfortunately. But Mr. Speaker, I think that it is becoming one too many, and it is appropriate that we allow, if we have to deal with any specific thing, the procedure for dealing with it. When people make suggestions, I have been a victim myself here. Things I have nothing about, they were put out and discussed. So I'm very particular about how we deal with people's integrity and make allegations. I think that we should be guided. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Bernard Hereford.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in life, what is good for Peter is good for Paul. If this House cannot comment on the conduct of Attorney General because the matter is not before us, then equally, the House can also not comment on an ostensible senior high school bill in the armpit of the President, because that particular bill is not before the House. Mr. Speaker, again, what is good for Peter is good for Paul. So when the majority leader is speaking about an ostensible bill which is not laid before the House, and members of this particular House, senior members, have not seen anything wrong with that. But when they were talking about a factual statement, evidence in court, admitted in court, when they are speaking about recordings that we have listened to, then we have a problem. Mr. Speaker, I have seen the record of proceedings. Even what is more serious is that the fancies are now being referred to as thieves.
Yes. Yes. Serious.
Your Attorney General referred to the fancies as thieves. It is evidence in court, in a very open court. When members are talking about matters of fact, you don't know that these are matters of fact, you don't take objection to it. If this House would have to be guided, the guiding must go to all members. If majority leader can speak about a matter which is not before the House, and on the social media that President is bringing bill on free senior high school, and he's not prevented from doing that, what happens if the chief whip speak about matters of fact in court, supported by records of proceedings? Mr. Speaker, I will raise my case.
You want to continue? Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to respond to some few issues raised on this floor. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, there is a member in this chamber who is present and seated. He is the MP for Akachi North. Mr. Speaker, a statement on free SHS was attributed to him to the effect that he was opposed to a policy a bill yet to be introduced to the House. I want Honorable Anyafo to pay attention to my submissions. Please, Honorable Anyafo, with the greatest respect, I heard you quietly. You may be quiet and listen to me. I heard you. Yes, I heard you. I listened to you quietly. You better extend the same courtesy to me. That's what, in no modesty. I respect you as my senior at the bar, but I heard you. So hear me too. That's our practice in the court. Mr. Speaker, I humbly applied under our rules to seek guidance. And I said, the member is right here. I'm not saying something in his absence. I am not saying that I'm not introducing a bill in this House. I'm not introducing a subject matter into this house when it is not right. So don't quote me wrongly. With the greatest respect. All I said was that honorable member for Akachi North made statement in respect of the three SHS. Mr. Speaker, soon thereafter, when the deputy minority leader had some private discussions with him, honorable minority chief whip on his feet said that their leader has spoken and that what he said does not matter, but what their leader has said on there for them. No, please pay attention. I won't misquote him. Relax. What he said, which I wanted him to clarify. Honorable Abuja came to his defense by saying that soon thereafter, and therefore respectfully, be quiet. What Honorable Abuja said was that let's put aside what his colleague has said, and that the minority leader has spoken for the minority side, that they are not opposed to any bill. For me, that brought the matter to a peaceful rest. It's not me speaking, it's your minority chief whip. Ask him. It's your minority chief whip, not me. I never said that. These are not my words. So, Mr. Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, Kwame Abuja, speaking on behalf of the minority caucus, brought the matter to a peaceful rest, to the effect that the minority leader, Dr. KCL Atufosin, has spoken for the minority to the effect that the minority was not against the introduction of a free SHS bill. I'm not the one saying. So, Mr. Speaker, that ends the matter. Now, my second issue. Senior, you know that the matter being raised regarding all that, the man is yet to be cross-examined by the Attorney General. You know. And I saw your practice in court as my senior. And I know your understanding of the law. So please, don't let us mix politics and the law. Mr. Anyafo, you know that the man has not gone under cross-examination. You know. So let us not go there. The issue I introduced had to do with free SHS. Let's stay there. If you want to do your politics and all that, be guided. Mr. Anyafo, be guided. And Kwame, minority chief whip, with the greatest respect, you may have an opportunity to raise issues you have against the AG. Don't say that I have brought a matter against somebody. I have not brought a matter against somebody. I raised the matter because I saw my colleague here and I wanted him to clarify. All of you have prevented him from making his point on this matter. Mr. Speaker, all of you, he was the member of the Education Select Committee, was either right by him. He distanced himself to speak for him, and the man is seated. Mr. Speaker, he who spoke for the minority caucus is being denied the opportunity to bring clarity to his own matter. Now, yes, Mr. Speaker, now they are going all over the place attacking the Attorney General. Please, it is only fair that you avoid the path you have chosen. You avoid that path because you say somebody has given evidence in court. And my colleague, my mate, the Fiamako, knows that until a person goes under the scrutiny of cross-examination, that evidence led cannot be sine qua non. You cannot say so. You can. So please, let's be careful. All those statements that this and that, you know, they are not helpful. Don't go there. Mr. Speaker, I'll rest my case.
Yes, because you see, leaders when you want to speak, I can prevent you from speaking. But we had some discussion before we came in that you have decided to disregard. And so I'll continue to call you when you are satisfied. Then I'll have my say. Yes, so Deputy Minority Leader, yes.
I'm simply following up on the Honorable Bezra rose on the 64 and raised a quorum. You asked the clerk at table to follow up. And it's past the 10 minutes. So I think we need to conclude that. We need to follow that. Of course, it's past the 10 minutes. And the speaker must follow up. Please, I'm speaking to the speaker. So I'm just reminding you that we need to do the right things and follow up to its conclusion.
Well, I have the results with me. I have. But you insisted on going on with what you were doing. So I told you I'm disabled. I'm disabled from really managing proceedings here because it's a mic at a time. And so when your mic is on, my mic is muted. When yours is muted, then mine can come on. That has not been the practice. The practice is that usually we have at least 2 mics so that I can at any time intervene to manage the house. But now it's only 1 mic that comes on at a time. That is why I'm compelled to be listening to you, because my mic will not come on anytime I try on. And you have said so many things that you should not have said. I could have prevented that from happening, but I'm disabled from doing that because my mic cannot come on. Now, let's go back and look at the quorum issue that was raised. As at now, the 10 minutes is long past. But the time I was giving the numbers after the 10 minutes, we still had from the no quorum. After even the 10 minutes, when the bell was rung, the counting was done, the number they gave me is still no quorum. I will proceed to go the other way. The next is to suspend sitting for 1 hour. After that, then the House stands adjourned. And so if that is what you want us to go by, that is by our rules, I'll suspend sitting for 1 hour. Those are the rules. That's what you approved. So I'll suspend sitting for 1 hour. Once my mic is on now, let me also acknowledge the presence of our students from the West African, from WAS Experimental Primary, WAS Experimental 1 Primary. They are located in the Adentan constituency, and the number present here is said to be 88. It's a very large number from the WAS Experimental 1 Primary, led by their leader, Mrs. Mavis Achempeng Jassi. Yes, you can see she's differently attired. Mrs. Mavis Achempeng Jassi is leading them here. Let me, on behalf of the House, the members of Parliament, welcome you to Parliament House. I hope this is not your first experience, but if it's your first experience, you have at least seen, heard something that we do on daily basis. Even though what happened today is wrong, but you have experienced it. And so you are welcome, and I will encourage you to keep on coming. You learn, and you learn better than us, so that in future you perform better than we are doing. You may now resume your seats. We'll soon conclude, and we'll call it a day. But if you want to also excuse yourselves, you are permitted to do so. But I know that we have able men and women there guiding you. So they will lead you as to what to do today. Please, you may resume your seat. And we thank you for coming. Honorable members, do we follow the rules? Okay. So sitting is suspended for 1 hour. Majority Leader, you want to say something?
Mr. Speaker, we are trying to reach consensus on, Mr. Speaker, on the matter. We are exploring the possibility of the member withdrawing his application. So we attempt some few clauses and then again, just 3 clauses. Just 3 clauses, and then we can adjourn. Instead of, Mr. Speaker, if we suspend sitting for an hour and get members in, and we have the quorum, which means we would come back and do the same thing. So, Doc, Mr. Speaker, so Mr. Speaker, our prayer simply is that we proceed to do few clauses and adjourn. Then we come back tomorrow and continue. Mr. Speaker, that is the understanding I have with my colleagues on the other side.
You, Majority Leader, kept on encouraging me to go by the rules. I couldn't say anything because I had no, and so we kept on listening to you and your colleagues. Now you are trying to reach a consensus on a matter. Definitely, I always encourage consensus building, and I will encourage that you try to reach consensus and resolve whatever issues you want to. In the meantime, by the rules, I'm to adjourn sitting. Suspend sitting. So I'll suspend the sitting for 1 hour and let you consult and see whether you can build consensus. When we return, then we can be guided by your understanding or decision or agreement. In the meantime, I'm going to suspend sitting for 1 hour. By our rules. Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Madam Speaker, thank you. We were trying to get the majority to understand that where we are, if we suspend for 1 hour, members are tired. We even get the number we have now. And so the best approach is let's agree to adjourn for tomorrow. And we have assured them we will deal with it. I mean, you are coming to the table, you don't even, the majority, you don't even have more than 30 members. And so you come to the negotiating table so weak. So please, the compromise position is that we adjourn for the day. I thank you.
We can't rehash this debate here. Before we came in. We discussed it in my lobby, and the leaders agreed that we're going to use 1 hour. Whatever business we're able to discuss during the 1 hour, we'll then adjourn the sitting. Because the understanding in, I should say, at conclave. We came in, and the leader of the house decided to go astray and raise an issue which has taken the whole house into complete disorder. But I was not given access to the mic. If not, what I wanted to do long ago was to rule the majority leader out of order. But I realized that even though he was out of order, it generated some interest, and members wanted to make statements, and that actually took the house into complete disorder. But I couldn't maintain order because I had no access to the microphone, and that is what led to all this. And so please, Ghanaians should understand the situation and forgive us our sins. Sometimes we are more sinned against than sinning, and I think today we shouldn't be sinned against. They should accept that the house itself, by the instruments that we have, they could not enable us to do a good job. In the meantime, I'll proceed now, in the face of the challenges, to adjourn to tomorrow, Friday. Sorry, tomorrow, Thursday. Hey, you are misleading me now. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I agree to an adjournment, but I humbly suggested earlier to my colleagues that we do just 3 clauses. Mr. Speaker, they have invoked the rules. And under the rules, you are supposed to suspend for 1 hour. The same people are now saying you should adjourn. Mr. Speaker, I humbly pray that the House be adjourned. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I commend the leader for the compromise. The ironical majority leader with 12 members, and me, the minority with the 35 members. I second the motion for adjournment.
Members, I can only advise that, this house is such an august house, and we have additional rights, we have additional privileges, and even immunities. We should do all we can not to abuse those privileges and immunities and rights. That is the only advice I can give. I also have I've restrained myself from going beyond our jurisdiction. And I try as much as possible to encourage the other arms of government to try to work with this house in harmony. We should as much as possible respect the members of the other arms of government, and we expect them to reciprocate in the same respect. There are so many things I don't want to refer to, but I have engaged the leadership of the other arms separately, not at one meeting, and I've called on them to eat this house as much as we respect them. And you all recall that on a number of occasions, I exhorted you to stand up in respect of members, particularly of the judiciary, which you did. But it was reaction and reaction from both sides, this house and the judiciary, that led to that unfortunate situation. And I think that we have long resolved them and we should move on. Don't let us, as leaders, mislead the good people of Ghana. Let's do all we can to lead them in peace and in glory. With this, I will proceed to adjourn the sitting and the House. The House accordingly adjourned to tomorrow, where I pray we'll reconvene at 10 in the forenoon. The House is adjourned.